What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here at Brevard College and we're here for another Formwork Friday. I have two hexes. I found another one that is the perfect Christmas hex. Red middle, green rim. Perfect. So we have two Prism Proton hexes. We're going to play the front nine here at Brevard College, and I want to illustrate, hopefully I'll be able to illustrate a point. And that point is, even if you are striving for max distance and max power, you don't have to be able to throw max distance to be able to score well. Let's get into that with a couple of hexes. So we're focusing on dialing back on power. We're focusing on precision and accuracy and control, which is why we have two of the exact same disc, two Prism Proton hexes. We're going to start off at hole number one with the slightly heavier one since we're throwing into a headwind. And I brought out mid-ranges because I want to demonstrate that I'm going to basically try to throw these about 300 feet, 300 or less, but just try to be extremely precise and show you that you don't need max distance to still score well. So dial it back a little bit to get a little bit more control. Let's see how close we can get it. This is 313, so I'm just gonna try to get it close to the edge of the circle, and that should give us a putt. All right, it's a little short, but that's kind of what we're going for. Let's see what we can do from there. I guess we're also gonna get to see how good I am at putting with a hex. Not terrible. All right, take a par on the first hole, but that's the point, is you don't go for birdie every single hole. The holes that you can reach, go for birdie. The holes that you can't reach, just play it for par. Hole number two is right about 300 feet, so it's pushing the edge of the distance that we kind of set for ourselves. So we're gonna see if we can reach it, but we're just gonna try to place it on the right line, and if it gets there, it gets there. I kind of pulled it a little bit. Yeah, I pulled it a little bit because I tried to juice it. Don't try to juice it, place your shot. Now we have to scramble. Super pinched up behind this tree. We got in trouble because we tried to throw too hard instead of controlling the shot. Hole 3 is 254, kind of a forehand, and since these are pretty glidey, somewhat neutral mid-ranges, I'm gonna try to forehand it. Never forehanded a hex before. We're gonna try it. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. I like that. Didn't have to try too hard, just pop it and watch that. Watch the glide. All right, this is the closest that we've been, but don't need to stress too much because we still are at edge of circle and we're putting with mid-range. So don't stress too much if this still turns into a par. But that's one stroke down going into hole number 4. Hole number 4 is 274, so this is really kind of what we're looking at as our target zone distance. So this is one of those that we really want to make sure we get close enough for. Just a soft hyzer, hug the tree wall, and give us a putt. Oh, the wind took it. It was a good backwards roll, but the wind did not account for the crosswind. We need to start thinking about the crosswind so we can be more precise. All these trees on the way, so this probably won't go in. bad look. The one hole that we weren't trying to be extremely precise on, we didn't take into effect all of the factors. We took a bogey. Look at us, folks. Yuck. But the next hole is a par 4, and if we still piecemeal it down, should still be birdieable. Hole 5, 577. We want to split this into 2 shots because it's par 4, so just try to be as controlled into the middle as possible. Still a little ways out. We're going to try to push it all the way in there, but remembering the weird winds from the couple holes before, we're going to make sure not too much hyzer, try to get it super flat. We tried to power up too much again, and then we pulled it. I think I'm pulling that one a little bit more just because it's a touch lighter. This one's more max weight, it's 173. That one is 166. So I think, because I know that I've had some issues grip locking super light discs in the past, I think that might be the cause of the confusion here. But maybe I'll just start fan gripping that one when I do some challenges with it, and this will be more of the power grip. Maybe that'll work. Oh, the tailwind. It switched to a tailwind right as I was putting and it dropped it. Oh well. So we don't take a birdie on this hole. We can get a birdie on the next hole, and take into account that this one's a touch lighter, so maybe be a little bit more controlled with this disc. Hole 6 is 310, right out there. It's in that target distance that we're trying to attain. So what I'm going to do here is, we have a crosswind, so we're going to take the wind into account here. We got the crosswind, going to put it out a little bit more to the left on some anhyzer. Let it drift over. We might get the full distance that way. And we parked it for another par. Hole 7 is 370. We definitely don't have that distance, and we have the wind in our faces now. So we're gonna take the heavier weight one. We're gonna just put it on a hyzer, be super controlled, and try to place a shot in the middle, and then we can park it for an easy par. Yep, right there in the middle. I thought that soft and the spinny was going to keep it on hyzer, but that headwind's a little too stiffer than I expected. The wind is playing tricks with us, which means that we may not necessarily be able to get a good score. However, we should still be able to finish at even par, which, playing with just softly thrown discs, even in some windy times, I mean, it's not the worst thing that could happen. And I hope that this is illustrating the fact that if you don't have the distance, why bother going for it? Go for halfway and then do the exact same thing another time. Repeatable. Find a shot that you're really good at and figure out how to make that work for you. Hole number 8, again, is 350, so we don't really have a shot if we're throwing the distances that we're throwing, but we are guarded from the wind a little bit, so I'm gonna go with the slightly lighter one, and let's try to put a little bit of power into it, and let's see what we might be able to get with the mid-range. I think we made it to the bridge, which means we might be able to see the basket. All right, we can see the basket. Not likely to get a birdie, but here goes. Another par. We're really good at taking pars with mid-ranges. Now let's see, the next hole, the last hole that we're gonna play, is gonna be in our range, so it should be birdieable. Hole number 9, 260 feet, right there in front of us. Let's see if we can put it close. Turns out mid-ranges are pretty decent putters if you give them enough spin. I know that this wasn't a really good demonstration of this concept, but that's because I personally do not play very well if I try to play safe. I play aggressive because otherwise I would be able to do nothing in tournaments. So I am more practiced at playing aggressive, so I am better and more precise at playing aggressive. But if you are not quite there yet, focus on getting very precise at the throws that you are good at, and then get really good at those throws. And then you can start to add some other stuff in. But make sure you have something that you're really good at before you try to switch a whole bunch of stuff up. Otherwise, you might have a really rough time. Hopefully you enjoy content like this. If you enjoy content like this, please make sure to like the video. If you want to see new stuff, make sure to comment all that down below, especially if you have new formwork ideas. Make sure to comment those. They might turn into a video. And make sure to subscribe. It helps you guys out with these subscriber only giveaways. And if we can hit 1,500 before the end of Christmas time, I'm going to be adding an extra disc into the giveaway. So tell your friends and families, and until next time, see you out on the course.